My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV.
And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out
Rapid TV.
Thank you, Rapid TV.
Please keep watching
Rapid TV. This is Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it down.
Leave it like that.
Good morning and welcome to Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political and general interest show, Korero. Of course, I'm your regular host, Nkamiang John, the Beloved. Now, the refusal of the Nigerian Senate to honor the late Chief Humphrey NWOSU, a renowned nationalist and the chairman of the defunct National Electoral Commission, NEC, that conducted the historic June 12, 1993 election, which is adjudged to be the freest and fairest election in the history of our great nation, Nigeria, has sparked strong reactions, especially from the southeastern part of the country. Now, leading the charge against this decision is Senator Osita Izunaso, representative of Imo West Senatorial District, a respected voice in the Red Harlow Chamber, who had openly rejected the Senate stance and is pushing for justice and recognition for the late national hero. Now, the motion, raised under matters of urgent public importance by Senator Eyinaya Abaribe and co-sponsored by members of the minority caucus, primarily from southeastern Nigeria, aimed to recognize Professor NWOSU, his contribution and courageous defense of the democratic electoral process during the 1993 presidential elections. Deputy Senate President Senator Bauru Jubril, who was presiding over the session, noted that the motion was a contentious one, citing divided public opinion on Professor NWOSU's role in the annulled June 12, 1993 presidential election. When the motion was eventually put to a voice vote, the nays had the day, effectively rejecting the proposal. The rejection of prayers 1 and 2 on a motion sponsored by Senator Eyinaya Abaribe to honor Chief NWOSU raised questions about Nigeria's will to remembering those who laid the foundation for the country's supposedly growing democracy. Now, it has also deepened concerns over marginalization of the southeastern part of the country when it comes to national recognitions and historical narratives. Now, let us not forget that Chief Humphrey NWOSU, as the chairman of the defunct NEC, National Electoral Commission, now known as INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, was the man behind June 12, 1993 presidential elections, widely regarded as Nigeria's freest and fairest election. Now, despite pressure and threats to his life, he oversaw an electoral process that gave Nigeria hope for true democracy. Unfortunately, the election was annulled by the military regime of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, and NWOSU was never fully acknowledged for his pivotal role in Nigeria's democratic journey. Well, our elders say that for you to truly know where you're going, you must know where you're coming from. So basically, the suggestion is that we all should be students of history. So for those of you who really have not understood the story about June 12th. Let's relive that interview made possible by Sahara reporters when they met the late Prof and defunct chairman of NEC in the United States, where he was doing a preview or review of his book about June 12th.
And my very quick question to you is that today is almost 21 years after June 12 election that you umpired. And you are making the declaration for the first time that I'm hearing that Abiola will win the election.
I should have made it in my book.
Yes, but when Abiola was arrested, jailed, you were nowhere to be found. The last statement you made was that the election was inconclusive before you disappeared, before you came out and wrote that your book. Wouldn't you have done Nigeria a great job of courage if you are stuck by the position that Abiola won the election and on that basis disgraced people like Babangida and the other people that you don't want to mention who made it impossible for Nigeria to have democracy for almost... Today is almost 21 years after June 12 election that you umpired. And you are making the declaration for the first time that I'm hearing that Abiola will win the election.
I should have made it in my book.
Yes, but when Abiola was arrested, jailed, you were nowhere to be found. The last statement you made was that the election was inconclusive before you disappeared, before you came out and wrote that your book. Wouldn't you have done Nigeria a great job of courage if you are stuck by the position that Abiola won the election and on that basis disgraced people like Babangida and the other people that you don't want to mention who made it impossible for Nigeria to have democracy for almost 10 years after that? Prof, don't you think you disappointed your nation?
Just a minute, sir. Can we have a couple of questions so it doesn't get so polarized?
I think it's very important.
Yeah, it is.
I need to clear my name. It said as a reformer, reforming that I chickened out when the matter but I didn't chicken out. I carry my message back to Nigeria. Carrying, and I had never hesitated, and I will give an interview. You say if you can, after this lecture, I can give it here. You carry it back to Nigeria. Before I left Nigeria, I gave to IT, I gave to this day, and they repeat the same thing. Sometimes people don't take in the correct answer. Without this man standing here, they wouldn't have been June 12th election. If I tell you what I did to make sure that that election took place, it is in this book. Sometimes people don't read. People think of money, 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 money. In Nigeria, people should not think of theory, things that will work and make our system stable and perform for our people. Let me tell you, first and foremost, the military was divided before June 12th election was conducted. It's a given fact. If you read forward to my book, Colonel Abubakar Omar, you will know, used to be governor of Kaduna State. He resigned his commission. He believed firmly in Abiola. And he affirmed everything in this book. Please, get a copy. You look at it, an annulment. Don't read any other thing. Go straight to annulment. What happened? Let me tell you, the military was divided. Abacha was friend of Babangida, saying it publicly at international level. At some stage, Abacha wanted to have a stint as president of Nigeria. When Babangida wanted to be a hero, that he handed over a reform system that he will be remembered by posterity and the international community. Because observers, he allowed observers all over the world to witness the election. But the only thing which he owed to Abacha, there was a coup of April 1990, which Abacha helped to save his neck. So Abacha wanted to rule. He didn't want the election to run. Now, this is that book. What happened? To make election not to go ahead, everything was done to condemn the emergence of Abiola as a legitimate candidate of Social Democratic Party. Everything was done. I supervised, my commission supervised the emergence of Abiola in Jos. But I stood firmly that he emerged according to the rule. When this didn't work, there was a court ruling. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
June 10, 1993.
I was president of Unilateral Union in 1993.
Okay, listen to me. June 10, 1993. In the night, a court gave decision that election should not go on June 12. That I am banned not to conduct the election. Meanwhile, all my colleagues, national commissioners, have gone into the field to supervise the election. What could I do? I was alone. What I did, I decided to attend when I learned that there was a meeting of the highest ruling organ, National Defense and Security Council in Aso on June 11th. The election was to take place June 12th. I wasn't invited. I just said that the meeting was going on. They didn't want, pro-Abacha group didn't want me there in the meeting. How would they hold meeting whether the election will take place or not when the chief electoral officer of the country was not invited? In any case, when I heard of it, I took a risk and invited myself to a gathering of military people. Is it done in Nigeria? I don't know who will do it. I went to that meeting, and that's why without Babangida, the election wouldn't have taken place. What happened? In the meeting there, they asked me, why are you here? I said, I'm here because the election will take place. Court has given a decision that there should be no election. And this is not, cannot be, because election is tomorrow. Court cannot give a decision 2 days, just 1.5 days to election, that there will be no election. And there were observers all over the world in Nigeria. And in any case, the law that empowered us to conduct election had stated that once a date and time have been fixed for general election in Nigeria, no court can stop us. But after the election, if the election was not held according, in keeping with the law, it could be nullified. So that was the position of law. I quoted to the president and his colleagues that the election must take place, and I'm ready. Unless you don't want the election to go on, tell me, then I know what to tell Nigeria. They are looking upon me, and they know about the rules of the election. And you have assured me you give me a free hand. Are you getting the message? You see, because I don't have time to conclude on, you said you give me a free hand. Election should hold tomorrow. If you don't want it to hold, tell me what I will tell Nigerians. Abacha stood up. He was to go. There was something they passed around in that meeting. Something which Director of Information from U.S. Embassy circulated that if that election was postponed, it would be unacceptable to the United States. Because the United States was aware of what was going on. So Abacha and group said, oh, postpone it for 1 week. Postpone it. Postpone it. America cannot dictate to us. And I raised my hand. The president, I'm telling you what happened. Those who didn't know about June 12th are talking. I ran. I vanished. So the president said, have you anything? I said, sir, this election must go ahead. This information, this relief from American Embassy has nothing to do with election which will conduct tomorrow. It has nothing to do with that. And if we postpone it for 1 week, it will be the worst rigged election in Nigerian history. You postpone it for 3 months, we will print another set of ballot papers, another set of arrangements. Everywhere was silent. This is not good. So when they looked, there was Sonika was there, he's still there. I'm mentioning them. The present president of Nigerian Senate was there, and the host of others. They said, okay, Babangida said, do you think Nigerians will come out tomorrow to vote? And that's when the military will sometime, they can be decisive. Babangida alone took that decision, said, go ahead, go and hold international press conference in their commission. This man was there, Olu, who was Secretary for Information. He should tell the director with 48 hours to leave Nigeria. Monitor should go around and monitor the election, and that the election should go ahead. That's why without Babangida, that's what happened. Oh, okay.
Late Chief Humphrey NWOSU, chairman of the defunct NEC, the National Electoral Commission, now known as INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission. He was the man behind June 12, 1993 presidential election, widely regarded as Nigeria's freest and fairest election. Just a little walk down memory lane, just to give context to today's conversation. If you just tuned in, this is Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political, and general interest show, Korero. Today on the show, we are looking at the Southeast Senators' call for Chief Humphrey NWOSU to be immortalized, and this, of course, the Senate's refusal to that request. The show, as always, is live and interactive on all our social media platforms, and you can be part of the conversation simply by following and liking Rapid TV on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Instagram, also known as IG. We are also on LinkedIn and TikTok. And don't forget, our official handle is @OfficialRapidTV. @OfficialRapidTV. You can choose to take advantage of our WhatsApp portal to be part of the interaction. The number is on the screen, 0916-771-6035, 0916-771-6035, and you get to be part of the conversation. Like I like to say, even when the show goes off the air, the conversation continues online. So be part of our growing online community, and don't also forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and so that you get latest updates as far as Rapid TV is concerned, and of course as far as Korero is also concerned. Now, in 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari recognized June 12th as Democracy Day and honored Moshood Kashimawo Abiola, the presumed winner of the 1993 election. However, Chief Humphrey NWOSU, the man who made the election possible, was left out. Now, this oversight remains a sore point, especially for those who value Nigeria's democratic struggles. The Senate, on Thursday, using voice vote, defeated a motion to immortalize NWOSU after it was rejected during Wednesday's plenary. Now, speaking during the debate on the motion, Senator Adeola argued that the late Professor NWOSU failed to salvage Nigeria's democracy on June 12, 1993. The Ogun West Senator, Solomon Adeola, said former National Electoral Commission Chairman, late Humphrey NWOSU, in his words, does not deserve to be honored among the heroes of June 12, 1993. Now, according to the former Lagos West Senator from 2015 to 2023, NWOSU released the June 12 result but failed to announce it. The All Progressive Congress Senator advised the Senate to vote against the motion. In the same vein, on Thursday during plenary, Edo North Senator Adams Oshomole claimed that the late National Electoral Commission NEC Chairman Humphrey NWOSU and former military head of state Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida IBB committed atrocities during the 1993 presidential election. Oshomole stated this while insisting that Nigeria cannot immortalize NWOSU. He accused NWOSU and Babangida of deceiving 18 million Nigerians who voted during the 1993 presidential election. Of course, the refusal of the Nigerian Senate to honor late Chief Humphrey NWOSU has become the case of the dead, if the dead could speak, especially after Oshomole's allegation that the late National Electoral Commission chairman and former military head of state Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida committed underlying atrocities during the 1993 presidential election. Well, let's take you to the Thursday's plenary in the Red Hallowed Chamber, where this matter, in the words of the Deputy Senate President, this contentious matter was discussed on the floor of the Red Hallowed Chamber.
They were afraid that the Court of Appeal is going to give INEC a favorable response. The military came and annulled that election and disbanded INEC. And at that time, my junior brother Bahari lost his job also, together with NWOSU. Now, how come, with this historical narrative, some of us are alive, we are participants in that process. There are some people here who are talking who have never been part of the process. And then you are coming out painting certain historical narratives which are wrong. Please, let's honor ourselves and uphold what is right and do the right thing. Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, Senator Titus has the floor. After Senator Titus, then, of course, we have Senator Osita, and then Senator Sadio, SAS, and then Senator Solomon Lamilekon will round up so that we can just put the vote, please.
Mr. President, I represent Benue Northwest Senatorial District. Mr. President, as you can see, this issue has generated a lot of interest, not just because of the personality involved. It is because INEC, being a very critical institution in the promotion, advancement of democracy, would naturally attract attention, either for good or bad. I want us to situate our debate in the context of national service and intellectual excellence, which Professor Henry NWOSU is supposed to exemplify. NWOSU was a professor of political science, someone who by training was supposed to deliver excellent election to Nigeria. Humphrey NWOSU was also appointed for national service. From these two backgrounds, he did not achieve any of them. They say to whom much is given, much is expected. A professor of political science heading INEC could not deliver result. That is how you can assess him. It doesn't matter whether the circumstances were positive or not. If it were not positive for him to do so, he would have resigned. He didn't resign, which means he stood out to do the job. So on that score, he did not succeed. Now, national service. When you are called to serve the country, what you are supposed to do is to go to every extent to defend and deliver your mandate. As far as we are concerned, this gentleman did not conduct himself properly enough to deserve any national recognition at this moment. He did not deliver.
You see, we have a lot on our other paper. But I will not deny you the right to speak. People want to speak, you want to speak, but please try to summarize what you are going to say. I will allow you one minute, please. Just 1 minute, so that we can get over this and then move forward. Senator Onyewuchi.
No, you cannot.
Oh, sorry, it is not, sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mr. President, my name is Osita Izunaso. I represent IMO West. I just want to draw the attention of the Secretariat to the fact that I'm one of the sponsors of this motion, and they wrote IMO North. For me, it should be IMO West, not IMO North.
Secretariat, please take note.
Now, Mr.
Okay, the sponsor, that stands corrected.
Mr. President, it is important that we do not sit here to distort history. We are legislators, and we are representing the people. Take a census of Nigerians and ask them what they think about Professor Humphrey NWOSU. They will tell you he was a hero. So for us to sit here now and begin to distort history is not fair for our democracy. It's not even good for the country. Mr. President, I want to draw your attention to what happened on June 10. We're talking about June 12. Justice Ibeme, as early as 9:30 on June 10th, said there will be no election. And Professor Humphrey NWOSU tried to reach the head of state. He couldn't reach him. He couldn't reach the Attorney General. And there was an emergency meeting of National Defense and Security Council, which Professor Humphrey NWOSU audaciously attended uninvited and told them that the materials had been sent out and that he was ready for the election. Uninvited in a military council, he went there. That is courage of the highest order. And it was after he spoke that President Ibrahim Babangida have no choice than to ask him to conduct the election. Mr. President, we have human beings who are alive. Today, Mr. Boss Mustafa, the immediate past SDF, and late Mohamed Waziri, we are the SDP returning agents at the collection center. Yesterday, when this matter broke up, I had to call Boss Mustafa. I had to call him. I said, Boss Mustafa, what happened at the collection center? And he narrated to me how courageous Humphrey NWOSU was. And said, without Humphrey NWOSU's courage, you can't even talk about election. In fact, Buhari Bello, who was INEC legal director, was the one that was running in between Humphrey NWOSU and the NDSC. And Buhari Bello is still alive. He will testify to you how courageous Humphrey NWOSU was in that exercise. Mr. President, Senator.
Thank you. You have 1 second remaining. I gave you more time.
Yes, please.
Your protest because you protested.
Yes, please.
So but your time is off. 1 second.
No, Adam Oshimole wanted to distort history. I won't let him do that. Humphrey NWOSU, in his book titled Laying the Foundation for Nigerian Democracy, Laying the Foundation for Nigerian Democracy, my account of June 12th.
Thank you. Thank you. Your time is off.
Entire result.
Mr. Shoaib Afolabi. I'm just trying to be fair.
I have the floor.
When someone here speaks, another person having divergent views should speak. That's it's a balanced thing.
I have the floor, please. I have the floor, please.
Go ahead. Go.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a few months ago, this Hallowed Chamber celebrated the late Dr. Ogbonaya Onu. It was unanimous. On that occasion, I stood up and I spoke not just as a senator, I spoke as a secretary of Southwest Senators Caucus. And in fact, we regarded Ogbonaya Onu as somebody from Southwest. There was no controversy. There will be other eminent Nigerians that were brought here. We celebrated them in less than 5 minutes. There was no controversy. Today, I speak as a senator representing the memory of M. Abiola. And that we are even discussing this brings back the pain of the loss of an illustrious Nigerian from Ogun Central Senatorial District. To attempt to immortalize or honor anyone who was involved with the annulment of June 12th that led to the death of M. Abiola is to undermine the insufficient recognition that has been given to him. It is indeed to also set a very bad precedent and to also make it very clear. If Humphrey NWOSU were to come from Ogun Central, if indeed it was to come from Abeokuta, anyone who participated in the June 12th debacle, regardless of the part of the country, including Abeokuta, I will stand up to speak against such a person. And you also know that even people from Southwest who were accomplices in the June 12th saga, they have not been forgiven tomorrow. If any of them was brought here, I will speak against him. Therefore, this debate is unnecessary.
This debate is trying to rewrite history, and we are sending to the people, to the younger people, that you can be celebrated if your courage failed you. You can be celebrated if you do common things uncommonly bad. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the very best you can do, maybe just 1 minute honor, but to attempt to do anything further would be to rubbish the memory of M.K. Abiola and to add insult to the injury.
Thank you. Senator Orwell Oyesi.
We are seated here today, we are talking about a great historical event. One thing we must not allow to come in is sentiment. I'm not from the southeast, I'm not from the southwest, I'm a Nigerian. Humphrey NWOSU was a Nigerian. And at the time he worked, Nigeria was a very complex society, managed by very reckless, very ambitious, very dangerous military leaders. We knew all of them. They shot so many of their mates for no reason. And I'm sure shooting a civilian would be an ordinary event. We knew what happened at that point in time. I am not after getting him named, anything named against his name, or giving him a national honor. That is left for the government of the day. But that history must not be distorted. We have kids here. Okay, they are gone. And they are listening. And they take this away. This is one of the highest, the most respected institutions in Nigeria. And so when we want to put facts, we put facts down for others to use. Humphrey NWOSU, to the best of my knowledge, and from the functions it performed, is a hero. Now, he established what we are mimicking today. The very INEC we are trying to fine-tune. He laid the foundation.
No, he did NEC. NEC, not INEC. NEC.
They are the same thing. It's a change of name. Change of name. Please, I did talk, Professor of War, I listen to you. You listen to me. Now, listen to me, and you will listen to me. You will listen to me. Now,
order.
Listen the time. I will take my time.
Order, please. It was a mistake, and we get that corrected for him. It was NEC, not INEC. It's just a mere correction. Yes. So, and it's human. All right, continue.
Yes.
But you have 1 second. You have.
So, sorry, I'll appeal for 2 more seconds because of the disturbance.
No, you have 1 second.
Yeah. There were elections conducted at that period, not just presidential election. They were successful. Don't forget, he conducted local government elections. They were successful. State elections, House of Assembly, reps, and Senate, they were all successful. Governorship. When it was time for presidential election, we knew the interplay of forces. And
you have 1 second remaining, 1 second.
Well, I want to say that we should be honest and we should be fair to people. Humphrey NWOSU is a hero. Nobody could have done better than he did at the point he performed. May his soul rest in perfect peace.
Now, you need, please, you need to be patient because time is running fast. This is one. We'll just have to allow maybe 2-3 people to speak because the time is far against us. No, you speak. You're going to speak. Senator Fadahunsi. We'll come here.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Adefadahunsi, Osun East. Generally, most of all the people that are talking about NWOSU, most of them did not know much, as at that time they were very young. Some were still in the university. Now they are here. The elder says, don't judge the dead. Leave him for his creator. NWOSU was a bloody civilian during Babangida's time. Colonel
one uniform there. My problem is that when it comes to civilian, we want to applaud our people. We have a lot of problems. Right here, one of the generals, and so many, we have celebrated them that truncated this democracy. NWOSU has done his best. He has gone. The naming of this and that in his name depends on the executive. You can recommend. If the president wants, he will give him. If the president wants the national honor, you can give him the best. That's at that time.
Thank you, Father Jose.
But we don't want all these things to.
Thank you. Now, please, we have to, because the deputy leader has come here to advise me that time is against us. So I allow Senator Uwoye to speak, and then Senator Olamileko will round up. I'm sorry, we can't take it anymore. Please, I'm sorry.
Thank you, my president, our dear distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Tony Uwoye, representing Anambra North. Mr. President, the issue at stake is an appeal I'm making that we should not allow our personal biases, our personal sentiments, and our party affiliations to influence what we are doing here. So far I'm concerned, during the June 12 presidential election, I was a presiding officer. And yes, I just came out from secondary school. I was the presiding officer in that election. That election has been adjudged up to today the freest and fairest election in the history of Nigeria. Mr. President, any Nigerian that googles internet, which election is the freest and fairest election in Nigeria is the June 12th presidential election. Professor Humphrey NWOSU, a professor of political science from the prestigious University of Nigeria, a civil servant, before he was appointed in 1989, did his best, despite the pressure from Babangida government, despite the court order, Mr. President, allow me, despite the court order by Justice Beme that stopped the election, despite all the threats from the military cabal, the man still went ahead to conduct the freest and fairest election. Was this Professor Humphrey NWOSU that made Justice Saleh from Katangum, Emirate, from Bauchi to annul the election? Was it Justice Professor Humphrey NWOSU that made the military cabal to throw Nigeria into confusion? It is highly unfair. One of my colleagues mentioned about the honor. Is it because he belongs to a particular political party? Let us not distort facts. It's very disappointing that some of us should be distorting facts just because Professor Humphrey NWOSU is an Igbo man.
Thank you very much.
Allow this motion to stand.
Thank you, sir.
I rest my case.
Thank you. Please, order, please.
Hello, sir.
Now, 99.9% of those who want to speak have spoken. I will allow Senator Samson, Senator Ezenwadel,
Hello, sir.
Senator Solomon Olamileko.
Thank you very much.
Have a minute.
Thank you very much, Mr. President of the Senate, for allowing me this intervention, as it were. I think we are getting the context of this motion disjointed somewhat. I think the central issue here is not whether we name the content of INEC in memory of NWOSU. The critical issue here is the honor that Nigeria owes this great man. And one of those who is, I'm very passionate about June 12th, very passionate, because I believe that has been one fabric that has challenged our sensibilities as a country. So the central issue here is not naming of the 85. The central issue here is the honor, because if NWOSU is not celebrated, who must we celebrate? Is it Otonzeribe or the judge who gave that judgment? I am of the opinion that outside whatever might be named after him, which of course is outside our past, as it were, we can at best recommend. But the central issue is that this man showed courage when that was necessary. He had all the opportunity.
You have one second. Your time is off. So tell us why you have the floor. Then Senator Solomon.
So I think we can.
Your time is off. Your time is off.
Naming that edifice after.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Sazanwa Onyewuchi, and I represent Imo East Senatorial District of Imo State. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am indeed very worried that the achievements of Professor Humphrey NWOSU is being subjected to such fierce debate. There's no doubt, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, that Professor Humphrey NWOSU is an architect of the freedom we enjoy today as a nation. Humphrey NWOSU
has the floor. Allow him to say his mind.
No doubt is
you are
the
protected
hero of the June 12th election. And there's no doubt that he introduced something that was very novel to us, the option A4, and conducted an election, adjourned the freest election that we
have 1 second remaining. 1 second.
Had. Mr. President, I want to warn or advise that this Senate should not resort to scapegoatism, to say, this is the person that caused this is the person that did not do this. Let us look at things objectively.
Thank you, Senator Solomon. You have the floor.
He played
your time is on.
And I want to say, he was not just, because I don't want us to pin Professor NWOSU to just the INEC job he did. He was an erudite professor.
Thank you. Your time is on, Senator Solomon Elamulekon. You have the floor.
Representing Ogun West Senatorial District. Mr. President, this is one issue that...
Look. Let me say this for him. You say, where were you? His junior brother died. His junior brother was killed during the June 12 saga.
Sir, let me make my submission that I can tell you where I was when it happened.
He's protected. Allow him to speak. He's protected.
He's from NRC. That's why he's speaking like that. Mr. President, very distinguished colleague, this is one issue I have tried as much as possible to avoid. Yesterday, when my brother, Senator Abaribe, brought this matter up, I took up and said, no, I will not allow this to happen. Because he's about to remind me a very sad memory. And I'm speaking not along party line or ethnic or whatsoever, as I've watched and listened to the contribution thus far. Mr. President, very distinguished colleague, as a result of the action and inaction of Professor Humphrey NWOSU, I lost my immediate junior brother. He died right behind me for him refusing to do or carry out his duty as INEC chairman. Mr. President, many of my colleagues have stood up here and said he conducted the free and fairest election. There are three different meanings and three different interpretations that we should look at: conducting election, releasing results, and announcing results. Yes, he conducted the election. Yes, School of Thought said he releases all the results. But you and I know releasing results is not the same thing as announcing results. He failed at the critical moment when he's supposed to salvage this democracy. Today we celebrate Abiola or those people who have contributed to the success story of June 12 because they laid their life, they put their life on the line. If he is coward to withdraw in doing what is right at the critical moment, I think my brothers here should be fair enough. We are not saying you should not bring his matter up. And as my colleague have said, everybody that we have put before us that should be honored, we have celebrated them here. And don't forget, this is the highest law-making body of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where we should see ourselves as one and one Nigeria. Professor Humphrey NWOSU, with due respect to him, because it's now late, does not deserve to be immortalized as one of the very few Nigerians that have done the right thing. And I want to plead with my colleague. As I've said, I'm not speaking along the ethnicity line along the party line. But I'm speaking as Nigeria. We witness the horrific moment.
Thank you. Once again,
of Professor Humphrey NWOSU to carry out his assignment at the most critical hour.
Thank you, now let's go to prayers. Prayer 1. All the federal government to immortalize him by naming the INEC headquarters in Abuja after him. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The nays have it. Further urges the federal government to posthumously honor him with national honors. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The nays have it. Extend condolences to his family and recognize their sacrifice in support of his work towards a better Nigeria. Those in favor of this prayer, say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. Order. Please, can somebody order? Can somebody move a motion so that we can have this silence in his honor and pray for him for his soul to reign in perfect peace?
That was Thursday's plenary, where using voice votes, the motion to immortalize NWOSU, Professor Humphrey NWOSU, was defeated after it was rejected during Wednesday's plenary in the Senate. The senator representing Anambra Central at the Senate, Victor Ume, frowned at Wednesday's rejection of the motion seeking to immortalize late Professor Humphrey NWOSU by the Senate. But appearing as a guest on a television political show on Wednesday, Senator Ume described what happened at the Red Chamber as very undemocratic. Senator Ume argued that the Senate leadership should have allowed the lawmakers to debate on the motion, saying that such motions are debated every other day on the floor of the Senate, irrespective of how anyone feels about the motion. He said the rejection of the motion is unfair to late Professor NWOSU, whom he said gave his all for Nigeria. Now, to wrap up today's edition of Rapid TV's continuously evolving socio-political and general interest show, Korero, in response to the Senate's rejection, Southeast senators led by Senator Abaribe have taken the matter to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, urging him to immortalize Chief Humphrey NWOSU, just as his predecessor did for Chief MKO Abiola. The senators argue that ignoring Chief NWOSU sends a wrong signal that some sacrifices for democracy are more important than others. They have therefore called on the president to posthumously honor Chief Humphrey NWOSU with a national award for his contribution to Nigeria's democracy by naming the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC headquarters in the capital city of Abuja after him, as a way of immortalizing his legacy to ensure that his place in history is officially documented just as MKO Abiola's was. Now, according to Chief NWOSU, Senator Osita Izunaso, representing a representative of Imo West Senatorial District, in his words, and I quote, Chief Humphrey NWOSU's role in shaping Nigeria's democracy cannot be ignored. If we honor Abiola and others associated with June 12, why should we refuse to honor the man who conducted that election? We must give honor to whom it is due. Senator Izunaso emphasized that recognition of Chief NWOSU should not be a regional issue, or some senators who spoke against it showed, but a national obligation, because his contribution transcended ethnic lines and served the entire nation. Senator Osita and his colleagues from the Southeast have set the stage for justice and fairness. Now the ball is in the court of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And whatever decision he takes will define how Nigeria values its democratic heroes going forward. Nigeria's democracy stands on the sacrifices of many unsung heroes. Chief Humphrey NWOSU's contribution deserves some national recognition, or do you think? Anyway, that sums up today's edition of Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political, and general interest show, Korero. As always, we'll do our bit to keep our searchlight beamed on developments as we keep our ears close to the ground. But before we call it quits, just to say special thanks to you for, as always, allowing us to be a part of your morning and your day. And of course, to wish our Muslim brothers and sisters a happy Salah, especially as a public holiday has been declared for Monday and Tuesday. We hope that the celebration will continue to foster peace and unity across our great nation. So, till we come your way with another incisive edition of Korero, I am Nkamian John the Beloved, also known as the Controversial, signing out.